Hi, welcome to the Forecasting for Success podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Brie. I'm a doctor of psychology, financial educator, astrologer, and founder of Forecasting for Success, a community of people improving their financial literacy to achieve financial independence. I blend my expertise as a former professor and financial intelligence analyst with the tool of astrology to help break down why you are struggling with specific money habits and the best way to form more intentional responses and choices when it comes to money, especially to help you feel more secure in your financial decisions and improve your money skills for building long-term wealth. Welcome back to the Forecasting for Success podcast, the show where astrology, personal finance, and spiritual self-discovery meet the real world. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest, Amber Hansel, who is an introvert confidence coach and host of the Introverts Unmuted Podcast, where she helps introverts reconnect with themselves, embrace their quiet power, and build confidence from the inside out. You may recognize Amber from our previous collaboration on Introverts Unmuted, where we explored how astrology and psychology intersect with financial empowerment, which I'll link below in the show notes. And in today's episode, we dive into Amber's upcoming astrology transits and what they reveal about her next season of growth, personally, professionally, and spiritually. This reading provides a quick snapshot with grounded strategies to help Amber and all of you listening make aligned, empowered decisions in the months ahead. If you've ever wanted a behind the scenes peek at how a personalized astrology reading works, or if you're navigating uncertainty and want to feel more aligned with your next steps, this episode will speak to you. Let's dive in. So, hello, Amber. Welcome to the podcast. I'm so happy that you're here today. And today we're doing an astrology reading. So, what would you like a reading about?
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm just really curious about, how this all works and more about myself.
Absolutely. So I really love doing these types of readings because what I like to focus on is what's going on right now with the current transits when it comes to what's being activated in your natal chart, because that way you can be more actionable with the information and really think through and, like I said, try to action or move ahead into the future with what's going on. So that's how I'm going to focus the reading today.
I'm really excited.
Yay. So the first thing that stood out for me is that right now you've got Chiron that's transiting your natal Jupiter in your first house. And this is really fascinating that you would have this type of conjunction, this type of transit that's activating for you because it's in the sign of Aries. Both of these planets are in Aries. Right now, Chiron is in Aries and Jupiter was in Aries at the time of your birth. And this is fantastic to have that sign, those elements in your first house, because then the focus truly is on you. This has to do with your worldview, how you approach the world. And so this is incredible for healing opportunity because that's what Chiron represents. So specifically, this transit, which will go through March of 2028 for you, is that it's a really special transit that offers you a unique opportunity for personal healing and growth. So, this is a really good time to explore any old wounds that you may have, since you would be more naturally open to exploring any old pain that you may have that you may carry with you, and also being more open and hopeful about healing those parts of yourself, especially if it comes to breaking out of any unhealthy responses to any triggers or stimuli that you may face on like a day-to-day basis, something that might reactivate an old wound. This would be a really helpful and beneficial time to break out of old habits if there's something like that that's repeating in your life. So, this is a really good time to create healthier responses and establish healthier boundaries just to not repeat old habits, like I said. So, this type of conjunction, it really expands your self-compassion and your understanding, which is what helps you to be more open to hope and opportunity around taking actions to heal any old wounds, to heal emotions and emotional responses, spiritual healing, or just whatever you need to focus on when it comes to how you define a wound. So that's the first thing that I saw that is a really great opportunity for you.
I'm I definitely enjoy hearing that because I think I have been on a healing journey. And so just continuing that and being hopeful that it is there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm really glad to hear you say that you kind of have this feeling or like there's a sensation that this could be a possibility. And so I really hope that you're able to capitalize on the energy and the opportunity that this brings.
Yeah.
So the next transit that I saw that is really curious, especially whenever it comes to things like money and resources, is that right now you have Uranus and Gemini that is transiting your second house. And the second house represents resources and values. And so money is included in that definition. And so, specifically, this transit can cause finances to be unpredictable or resources to be unpredictable, which means that you might have very sudden and unplanned or unexpected either gains or losses. So, it's possible that money or resources could feel unstable if something like this were to happen during the transit. What's positive though is that if it's on the gain side, like things like financial freedom and financial expansion or opportunity are real possibilities during this transit. And so it's really important to remain present and strategic about the what if scenarios. So that way you're as prepared as possible, whether good or challenging situations were to occur. So, for example, this means taking action that is within your control. So, for example, like increasing your emergency fund for any possible unexpected expenses if that were to happen. So, if you're comfortable right now with where your emergency fund is at, it would be like wise, like it would be strategic to just increase it just a little bit. That way, if something unexpected happens, then you've already got like an even more of an extra cushion there. And also, if you were to somehow receive a sudden large lump sum or a large increase in income, what would your plan be? Like, how would you hold on to that resource and not have it like slip through your fingers or not have it unexpectedly be spent, for example? So it's just thinking through, like, do you know how you would resource the extra money? Do you have a plan of action thought out ahead of time to not make unexpected or unplanned decisions in case there's emotions involved? So it's just a good time that you can either make or update your money plans or your resources plans. And it's important to have some type of plan in place and to keep it updated because this transit is rather slow. Like this second house transit is through April of 2031.
Yeah, I definitely lead. I would say the more money aspect and resources usually falls onto my husband to like manage per se and him to create the plans. But I know that I need one as well and how to handle, my own situation as well as our joint one.
Yeah, absolutely. It would just be a really smart thing to have is like a just in case plan, just
Hmm.
because Uranus, the energy of Uranus is to be very sudden and very unexpected. And so the
Hmm.
best we can do is just try to have a plan in place. That way, like I said, if for some reason emotions are involved, then you can just go to the plan rather than having to think about things you've never thought before while emotions are either
Hmm.
swinging into the negative or even swinging into the positive. It's just really hard to think through second and third order effects if you're really, really happy or really, really unhappy. So it's a good time.
Awesome.
And then the other unique thing that Uranus has right now is it's trine to your natal Mars. And trines are really positive, really helpful transits. So, this type of transit is all about breaking out of old routines that may no longer serve you and serve where you're going. So, this is also a really good time to try new day to day routines and to break up any stagnant energy when it comes to daily or consistent tasks in your life. Because your natal Mars is in the sign of Virgo in your sixth house. So, this speaks to day to day minutia, like day to day routines and activity. And so it's a really helpful transit. It's a very positive energy type transit to help you action new things that you want to accomplish, especially if you need quick results, because, like I said, Uranus is all about quick and sudden. So it's really beneficial if you do need to take any risks or try something out of your traditional comfort zone. So just think if there's anything boring or outdated, like it's time to renew because the transit's all about making room and
Mhm.
actioning new things to better support your autonomy and your decision making. And this transit's going to go through April of 2027.
I like that because I have been trying to discover throughout my day where, this week especially focusing on what's draining my energy and what can I add in that's adding something to me.
Absolutely. It's really hard to find time or the right circumstances to try new things and not have unintended consequences. And so,
Mhm.
thankfully, like I said, this is a very positive, forward leaning type of energy, type of opportunity. So, this is like the one time where it's safer. It's safer to really try to go outside the box and think outside the box. And if something doesn't work out, the consequences are way more mild than other points in time. So it's
Mhm.
safe to really get creative and try new things.
Awesome.
Now, the big one, the really big one that's going on is that you have Jupiter in Cancer. And at the moment, it's kind of sitting on the beginning of your fourth house. And fourth house represents the home and your home life, your family, which means it's also opposite your midheaven, and your midheaven represents your career and your reputation. So things that are very long term and again, strategic and planning and actioning. And it's really important during this type of opposition, this type of transit, that in the beginning, the focus is on activity around the home and the home life. And so it's actually been in this placement for a little while now. So the opportunity of the transit is only for another month. So it's only through mid-August. And so it's really about assessing the balance between your home life and your career or long-term goals, like when it comes to what you're known for, like in a professional sense. And so, again, the goal of the assessment period is to ensure that you have a solid foundation and stability at home. So that way you're able to expand your career and otherwise, wherever it is that you're going or would like to go outside of your home long term. So it's usually best to err on the side of, at the moment, like I said, through August at least, to focus any type of renewal around the home life rather than the professional life, just because the energy of the transit supports that more for long-term stability, if you will. And just to leave any type of sudden changes or really ambitious type things regarding your career or profession or reputation, even to after this portion of the transit. Because if a ball were to be dropped, if you will, in your professional life, the consequences would probably be, it would be more like a blessing in disguise rather than truly a ball being dropped. So it's more about focusing on the home at the moment and just shoring up those foundations. And then you can be more strategic and actionable when it comes to career.
Yeah. I like hearing that right now. We just got a puppy a little bit ago, so that has thrown our home life into absolute chaos. And having my kids home for the summer too, and their new schedule of daily activities and whatnot. And so just fitting in different things like that into my home life and still, getting the laundry done and just the basic tasks of like, okay, this is, trying to balance it out as well as, I work a part-time job and run an online business and so yeah, it's nice to hear that focusing on my family and how my home needs to run first will bring me more peace.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on your puppy. That's actually really exciting.
Yes, she is a handful, but she's so much fun.
That's adorable. What type of dog did you get?
We got a German Shepherd, so we adopted her from a rescue center about a month ago. So now she's about 4 months old.
Oh, that's adorable. German Shepherds are one of my favorites. I love the
Yeah.
Shepherds.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So,
exciting.
yeah. And it just like my husband grew up with German Shepherds, and all of their German Shepherds had a T name, and she has a T name.
So the tradition continues.
It continues.
That's adorable. Well, I'm really happy to hear that. So, yeah, that's even perfect. Right now, it's definitely more about focusing on the home, and then you can worry about the profession and other stuff later.
Mhm. Yeah.
So the other thing that Jupiter's doing, because Jupiter's doing a lot right now when when it comes to your natal chart. So the next thing that it's doing is it's actually square your natal sun. So during this transit, which is going to go through early September of this year, this is a really great time to resource yourself and tap into resources that you personally have already cultivated. So it's not about learning new things or learning new skills. It's about taking the time to assess what you already have and then either maximizing it or somehow emphasizing it, really digging down deep into those skills to show off what you already have, what you're already an expert in, what you're already skilled at, in order to really, like I said, double down on what's already available to you. So I would recommend using this time to assess what personal skills and tools you have on hand and then leverage them to the best extent possible.
Mhm.
Just remember, though, to be careful about maintaining balance and resting when you need it, because the transit can also cause people to overextend themselves and also technically money as well. If you're not being mindful and remembering to pause and be strategic about yourself and where you're going, your time, energy, all of these things about you and what skills you bring to the table. So it's just about thinking through second and third order effects before you decide to action something. But overall, it is a really helpful transit to get things moving along or progressing things forward that you want to progress. Again, just remember to check in with yourself and make sure that you're not overextending your time or your energy.
Mhm. Yeah. I definitely will occasionally overextend my time and my energy with lots of saying yes. So just pausing to say, no, that's okay right now. I need to do something else.
Yes, 100%. It really is a hard skill to learn, if you will. It's hard to say no, especially when you're aware that you're capable. You know that
Yeah.
you're capable, you know you can accomplish something, but we're all limited when it comes to time and
Mhm.
energy. So sometimes it's okay, like to say no, it's actually better in the long run.
Yeah.
And then the next thing that Jupiter is doing is it's trine your natal Mercury. And again, trines are lovely transits, and this one is going to go through August. And this helps you to feel more resilient and be able to maintain more optimistic thinking or just having a positive outlook, which is also better to help you envision big picture things, big picture strategy, big picture future, things of this nature. It's a unique transit in that you not only can see the forest, but also the trees. So it means that not only are you able to envision a big picture of where you're going or what you would like to action, but it also helps you keep track of really small details, the minutia, in order to action what you need to accomplish whatever it is that you're envisioning. So this is a great time, like I said, through the end of August, to get really specific about an important strategy to you that you would like to implement in your life and get organized around what literal specific steps that you need to take to achieve success with whatever the end state is of your big picture. So, this is the right time to be assessing all the data points, communicating with others if necessary, if the input of others is needed, and just otherwise making plans about how to be actionable and achieve success step by step. So, if you're curious about something and you would like to see if success is possible with either a new idea or to amend something that you already have in your life, then this is an excellent time to go over all the necessary details and make that plan of action.
I like that because I have started to analyze some of my marketing for my business and just where I want that to go and what the next steps are and how I want to continue to market as the trends change and as things happen. So it's nice to see that it's aligning up with assessing my big picture and then breaking it down into different steps.
Yeah, that's perfect. Absolutely. This is the perfect time to plan all that out. So that way, when it comes time to actioning it, your chances of success are so much
Mhm.
higher. So that's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
And then the last transit that I have for you when it comes to Jupiter is that it's also trine your natal Pluto. And this trine also goes through August because your natal Pluto and Mercury are conjunct. They're right next to each other on your natal chart. And this transit of Jupiter being trine to Pluto, this can help expand your power and influence. But again, remember just about keeping things in balance to make sure that this has a positive effect, that it has the type of effect that you would like when it comes to increasing or rebalancing your power and influence over whatever it is that's appropriate that could be put towards. So this transit can help you be open to opportunities and chances that might be challenging, that might be complex or complicated, but it does provide important context to help you grow and evolve as a person. So the transit helps you again assess the big picture, but also be more realistic about staying within your capacity for transformation and growth rather than overdoing it. So it helps to mitigate any type of overextension of your resources or overextension of a plan of action that you would like to put to motion. So the other thing that is really unique is that if there's anything that is lingering or ongoing that where you would benefit from healing, kind of speaking back to what we were talking about with Chiron and Jupiter being conjunct, technically, this transit also helps to actively work through any of those types of events or emotions. So it's kind of like doubling down on this being a really good time for healing as well.
I definitely, like I had said, am on this healing journey. And so, every little step and strategically, I'm a very logical person as well. So blending the two really helps to solidify the plan.
Oh, that's wonderful. Those are all the major transits that I see taking place right now for you, things that you could action in either immediately or in the very near future. But I'm happy to answer any additional questions that you may have or expand on something that I may have touched upon.
I don't think so. Like, I think it's just going to be in the next couple months, it sounds like, is when I really need to assess and make a plan so that then the action can start in, mid-September.
Exactly. Yep. Anything that you're currently actioning should be actions towards home life.
Hmm.
However, in the background, like you just said, it should be a strategic thinking and plans of action in order to implement and then move forward on in like mid-September. So that's when you would action the other things outside of the home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds good. I definitely feel like I want to focus more on my home life right now and get it settled because I know that when it's feeling settled, then I feel settled to go do other things.
Yes, exactly. It makes such a big difference in your life.
Mm. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I really appreciate you being here today. It was lovely getting to read for you.
Yes, I really enjoyed this, and now I'm gonna go assess and implement later.
Absolutely. I know you've got to stay focused on all the activity that's going on, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. But thank you so much and good luck with everything, of course. I hope big and better things are coming your way.
Yes, thank you so much for doing this for me. It was really insightful and kind of, you know, put me in a place where I'm like, yeah, this is why things are happening this way.
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you. I'm happy to.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
I want to thank you so much for joining me this week on Forecasting for Success and let you know that you can read the transcript for each podcast episode on my website, which is linked below in the show notes. I've also included the link to send me your money questions if you'd like to be a guest on the podcast at forecastingforsuccess.com/podcast. And if you're ready to get started on improving your financial literacy and developing your own personalized money plan, I encourage you to join my Forecasting for Success community, where I teach you everything you need to know about budgeting, how to choose your retirement number, how to invest in the stock market, and so much more. I go live in the community each month to check in on your progress and help answer any questions you may have. And it's a supportive community where you can also check in with other members and learn from their experiences as well. I hope you take good care of yourself, and I'll talk to you next week.